said, well, if China does that, China is going to have big problems. Okay. And later emphasized asterisks, but if we catch them doing that, they get a 50% tariff, which is a staggering amount. He said, all ships except Iran's. He said, si China hace eso, China va a tener grandes problemas. A stark and determined voice resonated from the Oval Office as President Donald Trump responded to mounting reports of China possibly transferring weapons to Iran. He warned with blunt force, asterisks, well, if China does that, China is going to have big problems. Okay, his words cut through the haze of diplomatic decorum and painted a clear red line with strict consequences. Asterisks, but if we catch them doing that, they get a 50% tariff, which is a staggering amount. Asterisks, the message was unambiguous. Any nation, including China, that arms Iran will find themselves facing severe economic retaliation. Meanwhile, tensions swirling around the Strait of Hormuz reached new heights. A naval blockade in the Persian Gulf is now underway, effective as of April 13, 2026, targeting vessels entering or leaving Iranian ports. President Trump has declared that this blockade applies to all ships, with one glaring exception. He said all ships except Iran's. Washington makes no bones about its intent, blockading Tehran and choking off a key route for exports, while keeping the world informed that passage remains open to everyone else. Simultaneously, global energy and oil markets are reeling. Iran has wielded the strait as a geopolitical weapon for decades, threatening 1/5 of global oil shipments, but now the blockade erases that threat by showing up with boots on the ground, or rather warships on the water. If Iran cannot profit from its exports, it loses leverage. That disruption hits oil-rich China hard, which has depended on discounted Iranian oil. Also, U.S. analysts anticipate that the blockade could spur global markets to reroute oil via alternate pipelines and overland paths, diminishing Tehran's grip on the global petroleum flow. On another front, there are concerning developments linked to Chinese influence manifesting far from the strait. Toronto's famed cultural show Shenyang was disrupted following a bomb hoax material that was later tied to messages aligning the perpetrator with the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. One message claimed, asterisks, the Toronto Four Seasons incident was my most successful one. Canada is hardly worth taking seriously. Even my motherland's Communist Party couldn't make the Shenyang MC cry, yet I actually did it. Escalated the taunt. Police have become like dogs running around everywhere at my command. While no credible threat was ever found, these messages suggest a disturbing attempt at intimidation. In the South China Sea, tensions are growing. The Philippines has confirmed that Chinese vessels dumped cyanide, a highly poisonous substance, into the waters near Second Thomas Shoal. Bottles containing the chemical were seized last year, confirmed by lab tests. Authorities warned the cyanide could weaken the BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded warship used as an outpost, and poison surrounding marine life, posing risks to troops and disrupting local food sources. As a response, the Philippines is boosting patrols, deploying both Navy and Coast Guard assets. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Australia have joined the Philippines in maritime exercises from April 9th to April 12th, featuring warships, fighter jets, and surveillance aircraft. These drills underscore a growing regional commitment to security and serve as a signal that intimidation by the CCP will not go unchecked. But back to China's possible arms shipments to Iran. Reports citing U.S. intelligence claim China is preparing to deliver anti-aircraft systems, specifically MANPADs, man-portable air defense systems, to Iran via third-party channels. President Trump, while skeptical of the report's accuracy, made clear that should the claims hold true, they get a 50% tariff. Chinese officials deny the report, stating that China never has provided weapons to any parties in the conflict, calling the intelligence false. Economically, the situation is already painful for Beijing. China's access to discounted Iranian oil, long a prop for its struggling economy, may be cut off by the U.S. blockade. On top of that shock, the possibility of punitive tariffs threatens to push China into deeper recession. Analysts warn heavy tariffs, soaring oil costs, and crippling trade disruptions could shake China's fragile economic balance. Meanwhile, underlying U.S.-China economic tensions persist. Back in January, President Trump initiated a 25% any country trading with Iran tariff aimed at punishing not just Tehran, but those who do business with it, primarily China, India, the UAE, and others. This move risked undoing a tentative trade truce with China, and Beijing responded with two in. Investigations into U.S. trade practices, one examining restricted access for Chinese goods, and another focused on barriers to Chinese green energy exports. Yet, amid tensions with Iran and China, global diplomacy has not been idle. President Trump agreed on April 7th, following mediation by Pakistan, to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran, an attempt to pause violence and buy space for peace talks. Financial markets briefly relaxed as a result. At the same time, China quietly helped pave a path toward the ceasefire behind the scenes, showing that even amidst pressure, Beijing remains a potential mediator. However, the ceasefire faces immediate strain, Iran deems the U.S. Blockade, a core term of Trump's strategy, an outright violation, ready to respond if threatened. The U.S. in turn has vowed to destroy any Iranian warship that approaches too near the blockade, intensifying the showdown. President Trump even boasted that U.S. forces are now proactively clearing mines in the Strait, doing a favor for world traders, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others who lack the courage to handle such work themselves. As these global pressures mount, Washington is preparing to host King Charles III and Queen Camilla for a state visit from April 27th to 30. It will be the first visit of a British monarch to the U.S. since 2007, a major diplomatic occasion to balance the rising storms in Asia and the Middle East. Across the board, these developments highlight the fragility of international systems, energy markets, alliances, diplomacy, all destabilized by war, fears, and distrusts. Whether it's shipping corridors or cultural performances, every sphere becomes a strategic front. The world now watches as the U.S.-Iran ceasefire teeters in the face of a blockade, as China faces mounting economic consequences for potential arms transfers, as Southeast Asia militarizes to protect its seas, and as Canada confronts transnational intimidation cloaked in ideology. T is a moment that demands clarity. Alliances are tested, peace hangs by a thread, and power, both military and economic, casts long shadows. In the days ahead, the balance between coercion and diplomacy may redefine global dynamics for years to come.